it's Russ from Pilates Guy, and I've just made a really quick video on mats and what mat to use for what, because I do get asked this quite often. So I thought I'd just cover off really three real things. A lot of people say, is my Pilates mat, you know, as good for yoga? So what I'm going to cover off here is what to use for yoga, what to use for Pilates, and what to do if you actually want to do both yoga and Pilates and or other exercise as well. So this mat that I've got here, it doesn't look that practical, and that's sometimes something to think about if you're going to kind of walk around or cycle, because, you know, slinging this over your shoulder and jumping on the push bike isn't actually that practical, although I do that. But it's a really good mat for Pilates. This is 1.8 thickness, but for Pilates I'd get a minimum of 1.2 centimeter thickness. They're much more comfortable when we're doing exercises like our plank, when you're on your elbows, or when we're doing push-ups, and maybe you keep your knees down, or if you're doing your swimming exercises, kneeling, or if you get wrist issues and you tend to work on your fists. And one of the big ones, a lot of people ask me about hips getting uncomfortable with sideline hip work when we're kind of down here, doing clam or doing sort of leg work here, about the hip digging into the floor. Normally the mat is too thin and that's why it's uncomfortable, but sometimes even this won't do it. You can fold the mat if you want to. So yeah, but for Pilates exercises, I would get a nice thick, minimum 1.2 centimeter mat. For yoga, you don't want one of these mats. You absolutely do not want a mat like this for yoga, because they're very stretchy, and they stretch quite a bit. So if you can imagine, if you're in the warrior pose, or I'm not a yogi, but you know, warrior pose, some position like this, you do not want a mat that's stretching under here, okay? And if you're just doing general flexibility work and you're going quite wide with those legs, you don't want a mat that's going to stretch away underneath you. So for more extreme stretching, do not use a Pilates mat like this with big thickness. You want a 0.6 centimeter yoga mat, which is going to be perfect for yoga, obviously, and for some more intense stretching. So if you're just doing yoga, I would get one of those slightly thinner mats at 0.6 centimeters. If you're going to do Pilates, at least 1.2 centimeter thickness. If you're going to do both Pilates and yoga, I would suggest you get a mat for each. Is going to be the best thing that you can do. Unless you're kind of tough and on a solid studio floor with a very thin yoga mat, like they tend to give you at the gyms, you're quite comfortable getting your elbows and knees and things onto that, and your hip, then, you know, the best thing you could do is have a thin 0.6 centimeter mat for both Pilates and yoga. If you're going to stay at home, and you've got a carpeted area that you tend to exercise on with your Zoom sessions or anything like that, then just the thin mat's going to be absolutely fine, because you've got the extra cushioning of the carpet. If you're going back to the gyms, they all give you the really thin mats. So if you're going to the gym for the first time to do Pilates, or going to a studio for the first time to do Pilates, if they don't provide mats, have yourself a nice, at least 1.2 centimeter mat. So hopefully that's been helpful in helping you choose which mat you're going to buy before you go off and start your sessions. But if you've got any questions or anything, please drop me a line. It's russ@pilatesguy.co.uk, and thank you very much for watching the video.